What time it is? It is that time. We're about to go live in 2 minutes, and we are going to be discussing your options in this world when it comes to life insurance and end of life care, right? So, some of the things that Lynn was talking about last week, she's going to delve into today so that we can honestly get a true depiction of where's my live at. It's saying I'm live, but I don't see it. Oh, there we go. Delve into today so that we can.
Yeah, I've been so bad at not showing yours on my page until after. I just figured out.
We gonna
Because
work
how
it.
long do they stay up?
I usually like since you told me the 24 hours,
That
I
other one, like
started
these other
to
ones. Yeah.
I took all of them down.
Oh, okay.
But I just put a lock on them. They're not going anywhere. I just put a lock on them so can't nobody see them but us.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like you can put them back if you want. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then with Restream, also, Restream allows you to repost.
Yeah.
Like, so if you have a live video from a class that you want to do and you want to just take it and repost it on here, you can schedule a time to do that and do it that way. So that's one of the things that I realized they've been offering us. Hi, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are about to go live here at 6 o'clock talking about options for end of life care. Okay. So we were discussing last week about how some people are not eligible to get life insurance policies and things like that. So we want to delve this week, kind of give you guys a better option outside of the life insurance option, right? So we want to make sure that we are giving you every option, opening up all doors and avenues for you to be able to be covered and have your family covered and have your health covered, because we're going to be discovering some ways to cover your health while you're still alive, right? So not just talking about life insurance policies, but what type of policies can you get if you need to go into a nursing home for, say, right? People don't know nursing homes are like $8,000 to $12,000 a month. Okay, can you afford that if you ever have to go into a nursing home? End of life care. You don't necessarily have to have a astronomical budget for your life insurance policies, right? You can do an end of life care policy where you're actually going to just pay for the burial, correct? So these are some of the things that we are going to be discussing tonight. Ms. Lynn is going to be discussing. I'm just going to be her co-host as per usual, because I absolutely love the information that she brings to us. And I also, that's why I share this, guys. I want us to be able to, and please share with anybody, because we want to be able to get this information out. Lynn is on a mission right now. Her and the company that she works under is on a mission to educate 30 million families. So we are a part of this community, guys. We want to be able to be educated not only on money, but we want to be educated on where we're going to be putting this money at, what type of policies we can get, and they actually benefit us as people while we're still alive. Because I know some people are afraid to get life insurance policies because they're like, what? I'm leaving money for these kids or whatever, but we have policies that can benefit you. So let's get started. We're going to, as per usual, we have Lynn here. She's going to be here educating us on money and all things that she knows, because she's very knowledgeable in these sectors. And this is the person I use. So, guys, and just the FYI, all of her information is on the screen. Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
if you
so
guys
fancy. We look
need
like
to, hi
news
Courtney. We yes,
Hi, Courtney.
we're most definitely here to drop the gems for you guys tonight. Okay. So, like I said, please share, please share, please share. Get some of your friends in this room so that they can get this information too. Lynn is my financial director, and I'm telling y'all right now,
keep giving me all cool titles.
she get all the titles from me, okay? Because she's everything. Y'all just don't understand. I call her for all stuff, okay?
Yes, for pickles
and everything.
Kombucha,
I put some just to let y'all know. She makes great egg rolls too.
Egg rolls,
baby. Yes. Listen, okay. But back to being serious, okay, guys, because we love to have fun. Y'all know this. But Miss Lynn is going to get started, and we are going to listen to everything that she has to say, guys, because she has some information on how, as people, we can secure our families, and not only that, have end of life care for ourselves if we need that money to go into a nursing home, if we have an emergency and have to not be at work, right? Because we do have those things where we cannot pay our bills, and that is why we have Lynn here to help us navigate those
Yep.
things now before they happen, so that
Correct.
we don't be in a bind when they happen.
Yeah.
Okay, because guess what? We're only getting older, guys. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
hey,
Thank you,
Genevieve.
Tawana. Hello, Genevieve. Hello, everyone on the live stream. Again, my name is Lynn. So, yeah, I think we definitely wanted to dive a little bit deeper. Last week, we were teaching a class. We were offering kind of our workshop 4, is what we call it, a health and wealth, right? So, we talk a lot about this idea of how our health is so connected to our wealth, correct? And we
Yes.
don't think about it that way, but it is, right? So, the goal for us as we build over time when we're younger, there's actually this concept called the X curve, where we're building over time this wealth curve that's supposed to go up, right? Uh, However, the things that kind of reduce our wealth is actually all the responsibilities we have in life, right? So she's showing there
I'm
this
her
kind of what we
hostess.
call the X curve. Yeah, so well, better, the next
Yes.
version, Tawana Green, not Vanna White, right? But definitely right. So we teach a lot about these two ideas that intersect, right? The notion of responsibility as it relates to wealth building, right? And so when we think about that, then the idea is that the more over time we want to reduce the responsibilities we have, right? And those responsibilities come with money, right?
And some of the responsibilities that she's discussing, if you guys weren't on the call last week, is when we're younger, our
All sorts of
responsibilities
things.
are our
Mortgages, raising our
children.
kids, our car
Yes.
loans, our school loans. I know that is now coming out now for many people.
Girl, I got my letter the other day. Okay.
Everyone, I know. I've been hearing it in sessions now, right? And so we aren't prepared for some of that. So when we don't plan properly our X curve, this concept, our life continues to be high responsibility and our wealth continues to be low. Right. And so when we understand the financial planning process and this concept, the goal is that over time we reduce all the liabilities that we have so that we get to this phase we call financial freedom.
Yes.
Right. Where what I'm bringing in is far more than what I need, right? And that I have more, whether it's passive income, it's moving away from active income, or just having sets of portfolio that you've grown over time, right? So your wealth. So then that is the phase when we talk about is to get people to that phase of financial security, right? So you're not so worried anymore,
Yes.
right? Your mortgages is paid off, your children are no longer with you, and now all your cash flow is yours to to do what you want with it, right? However, we know that in your early years, like at your you and I's age, we got all these responsibilities, so we do need to really plan for it. Okay,
Yes.
so as we talked about last time, Tawana's like, well, how do we talk about the concept of using insurance, but not just what most people think about life insurance, right? This end of life only, right? Like many people I hear now, yeah, like, oh, I don't want to leave it for my kids or whatnot, or like it's not for me to use. Why would I want to put this money now? Right. So we want to help people really think about insurance very differently, right? So insurance is always about risk management. I know I've mentioned it a few times. But when we talk about this concept in this curve, sometimes what happens, the responsibilities that actually takes the most from all of us is in the event that something happens to our health. Right. So that's why when I know when Tawana and I started planning, we're like, well, what will happen? Right now we're good. Like now I'm good and healthy, but we can't take that for granted, right? Because we know we can hear all the statistics about all sorts of things, but car crashes, all the health issues. You don't know how many people show up with terminal illnesses every day,
Yes.
right? And so that's why, again, when I teach the protection layer, how are we protecting for your health when you're good and healthy now? Okay. And so we talked a little bit about last time in the class I was teaching was this idea of protecting for some of these things that we don't plan for in advance, right? And so
Yes.
one is long-term care, right? And I can't remember we didn't talk too much about long-term
No,
care.
we did
Okay,
not.
yeah. So there are options. So definitely, we think about life insurance. It's not just again the death benefit is what most people understand it to be, but a lot of policies, particularly some of the universal plans, even some of the whole life insurance plans or the index universal. So again, just more different types that I taught last time, and we have a full class on that. So if you ever want to go to that and you want to know more, I can teach one-on-one as well as we can send you to a workshop to learn specifically, because I think as I've been doing this, we're very undereducated about our life insurance options. And the industry, like anything else, has changed and shifted, right?
Yes.
So the one your parents got is not the same one you have access to, right? And it doesn't actually function and have the same value that a lot of them do have, right? Because the industry has evolved to realize that people's major health things that need to protect is actually around their health and wellness, right? And so the evolution of insurance has, okay, well, what are the benefits that we can add to our consumers for when they are still living, right? If they buy a policy from us, how can we protect their life while they're still living? Okay, so what we call in a life insurance one, if you're adding, they're often called riders. So imagine like a like extra features on your car, right? So you buy the bone of the car, but you want the nice stereo Bose system, right?
I like the seats to be nice.
You like the seats to be heated. You want the color LED lights. You know, you want blue and green. You want all of that, right? So life insurance also has similar notions, right? Called riders. So you can add different benefits. And so when I talk about the X-Cover and help families plan, I actually want to plan for you that middle section of your life in the event that something does happen to your health. Okay, because those same areas of your health, would you not agree that you will still have the mortgage? You will still have the kids. You will still have,
you still got credit card debt.
You have still all of that. All those debtors aren't going to say, or the loaners aren't going to say, hey, that's okay. You're not healthy. We'll give you a break, right? That's just not true, right? And so then we have to leverage a tool. And so for us, from the insurance and investment side, the tool we use is actually insurance. So we leverage a tool. So a policy would say, hey, I have a $500,000 death benefit, right? In the event that something happens to me. However, you can add these riders. Okay, so we'll talk the first rider. Often we really want to help you plan for is a long-term care rider. Okay, so long-term care is this notion that in the event of your sort of, sometimes people think about kind of a short-term disability. So that's a common term people understand. So this idea that you, from the industry, long-term care is when you're not able to do 2 of 6 daily living activities.
So name some of those things.
Yeah. So getting up. So usually we think about when I wake up, I can get up from my bed. Often you go to the bathroom. So if you can use the restroom, you put your clothes on. You can have eat something, right? You're moving around. And then like the ability to kind of hold your to hold your continence. That's what it's called. So the continence. To hold
I'm trying to get the word out for you. Like what word we looking for?
Continence is actually another one, right? Because as you get older, you lose that ability, that muscle, right? That's what it's called. So those are what we call daily 6. So in the event that you can't do 2 of those 6 activities, often it's from major crashes, right? Major, health issues, all of that, right? Diabetes. So for instance, like for my dad got to a point where it was really hard for him to move around, right?
Diabetes is actually a big one.
It's huge, and we know that's a huge thing. And so for us, when we're healthy, we know, unfortunately, many of us will develop diabetes, especially if we have it in our family history. And so
we don't eat right.
And we don't eat right, right? And so, but definitely once your diabetes, it's very hard, one, to get insured. So if you don't have life insurance, when you have diabetes, that becomes really hard. So we'll talk about a possible other solution, right? For you. But long-term care, right? So then this policy will say, okay, in the event that you need long-term care for a short amount of time, usually it's 90 days or more, that you now need it, because if you're not able to do these 2 6 daily activities, you're probably not working, right? Or you need assistance, right? You would need assistance. So there's many things you need. If you need assistance, let's say, if this were me, right? I'm like, oh, now I need assistance, right? Can my friend Tawana help me take care of that? And if Tawana can take care of me, I want to compensate Tawana for her time, right? We call that informal care. And so we actually can. So we have something in place. I can leverage 2% of my 500,000, which is what, 10-ish thousand?
And that's per month?
Per month, yeah, for the short term that you might need it. Okay, so let's say you have a 500,000 coverage. You can leverage 2%, about 10,000 a month. You don't have to take all of it, but the company will say you qualify for long-term care. Because you have this rider that you've been contributing to for your policy, we can allow you to take up to $10,000. Would that not help you?
That would help a lot.
I could pay my friend,
most definitely,
right? Because she just can't drop her whole life to take care of me. Same if we think about siblings. I hear a lot now, grandchildren taking care of grandmothers, all of that, right? It takes time from them, because don't they need to be producing and building wealth as well?
That part. And I think a lot of times when we are, as family members, trying to care for elderly, we're not even qualified, right? So how does, now that's even more money, having to bring an aide in, or a nurse, or some type of skilled person.
Correct. Yeah. So then all those are what we call long-term care assistance, right? And so, so if you can't do it, then because it depends on the condition. Right? What if I had a major condition and I do need medical assistance? I need someone who's a nurse, a qualified, skilled nurse, to come in at least in the morning to help me get dressed, take care of my medications or whatnot. Yeah, so definitely doing that. So all those, so people think long-term care is just about older people, so that's one. And actually the statistic says about 45% of people under the age of 65 actually do need long-term care for 3 months or more. So the statistics are
Well,
pretty
this would
real.
have helped me a whole lot last year when
Yeah,
I was sick
when
and
you
I
were down
couldn't
for
work,
3, 4,
right?
5 months.
I was down
Yeah,
for like
like
nine
a
months
year.
last
Uh-huh.
year. So if I
Yeah,
had this in place, it would have
yeah,
kept
you
me
could have
from
leveraged something.
taking so much money out of my savings
Yeah,
to keep up with my
yeah,
lifestyle,
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was so grateful when you taught that to me because I was just
Yes.
like, what? I have options? Like,
Mhm.
so guys, if you are just joining us,
Yeah,
welcome, welcome, welcome.
yeah.
We are really talking about different alternatives in the insurance world that can help you right now, because we have been hearing a lot of people in this say, hey, I don't want to leave money for my grandkids, I'm not able to benefit from that. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's a selfish way to think, but there are many people out here
Correct.
that think that way. So these are the alternatives. These are the ways that we could actually help ourselves while we're still living and investing in something like a life insurance policy, long-term and short-term care policy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's the statistics. And then unfortunately 70% of us over the age of 65 will need some sort of long-term care assistance, whether that is having, like I said, 25% care when I'm older, whether, especially if you're single and don't plan to be married, or even as you age as a couple. My husband, he's not going to take care of me as the same way that I'm not going to take care of him, right? I can barely lift him now as a 40-year-old. I always joke, like, if something happens to him and he needs 2 of 6 daily activities, it would be actually kind of hard for me, right? If especially one of them is lifting him or something, right? And so that we need to make sure we're planning for, right? And so the
Yes.
statistics are there because it's true. We've just seen it. And then, definitely culturally, sometimes we talk about, well, we're Vietnamese. There's no way I'm sending my mom to a nursing home, or there's no way she's going to stay in some. But will she need care? Likely, especially now my mom is by herself. My dad has since passed. He passed at the age of 73, and she was actually very near that phase where she would actually be my mom's long-term care assistant.
Yeah.
But my mom wasn't able to help her with all of that, right? And so now we need to plan for our parents, right? On how on what that looks like. Or for my mom, right? How do we take care of that? So is it just assistant or whatever, right? We're not going to send her somewhere. You can allow the ability to live in your own home, okay? But you need to be prepared financially,
Yes.
to be able to stay in your home as long as you can.
And these guys are definitely conversations that are needing to be had within families.
Yes.
I can't impose that enough. We need to start having wealth building communication talks in families, so that I do it with my family. We were talking about homesteading and buying properties together. And I do know some of the family members that are distant have already started this process of the homesteading stuff. So we have to get into that mindset of, it's not just me. That selfishness has to go, because in order for us to survive as a entity, period, any type of entity, as a community, in your family, whatever, we need to be able to communicate with each other effectively on financial things, because we need money to live. We need money to grow things. We need money to actually take care of ourselves for the long term.
Correct.
So, and not have to worry about our kids doing it.
Correct. Yeah. And then some of the other riders or options is really thinking about critical illness, right? So those are actually, again, the number one reason why people are bankrupt or become bankrupt, right? As you're building that curve, right? The middle, like I said, that middle phase, a lot of these responsibilities, if something happens to your health, critical illness, and a medical reason is really the number one reason most people go bankrupt. Okay? Even if they build massive assets, right? We know hospital bills is the highest rising inflation cost. We keep talking about it. So critical illnesses, there are protections in place for some of the major. There's usually 9 or 13, depending on the company or which ones, but there are major ones like blindness, paralysis, cancer, renal failure, some really kind of heavy hitters, right? Where your life expectancy is very much reduced. And so on those riders, it depends on which critical illness you have, and then it will be kind of fully dependent on the doctor saying, yes, this critical illness is one of the qualifying ones, and it's going to take 90% of your life expectancy. So the company will calculate what that number is and say, okay, you can actually leverage up to 80%, 90% of your death benefit.
Can you just imagine how beneficial that would be if you are someone with cancer and you're like stage 4 and you just want to take a trip with your whole family, or you just want to do something before you leave this earth, and now you have that ability because you saved this money.
Correct. Yeah, that you've saved and you invested in your, your risk management from the insurance, right? And then the last one is terminal illness. So definitely cancer. So if you do have 12 months to live, this is actually a standard. Most life insurance policies do have a terminal illness accelerator, meaning you can take it early. Yeah, it's really the critical and the long-term care that is the more planning, because that's really where, because those are the time in your life where you're not quite passed on, but you're really struggling.
And
Really struggling. That's actually the hardest for so many people, right? You yourself and your caretakers.
Yes.
Right. And it always has a financial impact. Doesn't matter how you slice it. There's always a financial impact. So the question is, are you prepared enough, and have you taken the responsibilities while you're earning good income to protect that for yourself, so that your families don't have to take that burden?
And I mean, physically still able to make this money, because I was just watching this seminar, and the guy made a comment like, a lot of people think midlife is 50 and 60 because they, for some reason, how is that midlife if you're not living to 120?
Correct.
So, we're technically midlife at 35, 40,
Yeah,
because
90.
yes. So if you look at it in that sense, I'm only 38, but I'm 39. I did just have a birthday.
That's right.
I'm like, I'm 39. So
and rising.
Even at 39, I'm almost at midlife,
That's true.
So just thinking about it from that,
87.
You see what I'm saying? Just thinking about it from that perspective of saying, I'm about to be, we're getting older by the day.
Yeah.
And it's only going to accumulate more and more. I was just literally talking to one of my sisters this morning, and we were talking about how bad our eyes are getting, like, and she was like, yeah, my doctor told me at 40, my eyes, I'm like, 40, girl, we knocking on 40. Like, don't say that.
Does your eyes deteriorate?
I do. I have astigmatism.
Oh, yes.
Astigmatism. So, it literally is deteriorating every day.
Yeah.
So, but, her doctor told her that, like, at 40, your eyes start getting bad.
Yeah.
Statistically. So, we're trying to get you guys in the mindset of planning for these things. Like, my grandmother went blind when she was 45. And that's something that scares me, because I'm like, is that hereditary? Am I going to go blind? And I mean, went blind out of nowhere. It wasn't even like a traumatic thing happened. She was driving home from work and literally went blind. So, that could be something in my family that
is definitely a critical illness. That definitely impacts so many things, right?
Like, how can you work if you can't see?
Correct. Yeah, that's a whole.
So that's definitely something to consider.
Correct. Yeah. So again, really knowing your options, knowing what all the options are out there. Again, not necessarily relying on our circles. Oh yeah, I bought this and I bought that, or we hear a lot of stories. Still, I've been in the industry for 3 years. A lot of undereducated stories about how policies don't pay out or that kind of stuff. There's so many nuances to that. So don't believe that. Really actually get your own consultant. If you don't have it, we believe that it needs to be an essential, right? To at least explore your options and know and work with someone so you actually can have a plan. Because the worst case, or not the worst case, it's like you want to make sure that you're planned for all the possibilities of life, because we don't know which one will be ours. Right. So we don't know if we will be taken too soon. We don't know if our health will deteriorate and blindness will, take us on. And we don't know if we actually will be blessed with 120 years old. Right. So a good financial plan then actually makes sure that you have attended to all those phases. Okay.
And just an FYI to those that are on the call tonight, Lynn's services, okay, y'all. Lynn will give you a free consult. She will literally sit down with you guys. She has courses. The courses are absolutely free. So this information, guys, we are getting this information out to you because it is so important for us to be educated on all options. We don't want to see GoFundMe's past this year. Like, we have zero reasons for a GoFundMe when we are properly prepared for what may come to us. And there's no excuse for not being properly prepared besides the fact that you're just not doing the work. And if somebody is here to help you do that work, I don't see why you wouldn't want to accept that help. Okay. So I see. Hey, Jazz. So I really want you guys to understand the purpose of our lives. This is not for y'all to buy into anything. We are not trying to sell you anything. This is absolute free information that we want to help you guys with. That's why I have Lynn's information here. So if you guys want to contact her via email or cell phone or whatever, Lynn will get back
Yeah.
to you. She will set up an appointment with you guys to actually sit down and look at your numbers.
Yeah.
Actually sit down and understand what the options are for you in your business. For not your business, but for you in your life, okay? Because y'all know I'm always talking about business. So.
Yeah.
But for you in your life, because we want to really start seeing the benefits of the money that we're making, right?
Correct. Yeah, we
And
want it to grow.
these are some of the ways that you get into another tax bracket for real, because
Correct.
now you're putting money in places that's growing, and some of the vehicles that she has available is money that's going to grow tax free.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. That's the value of life insurance, cash value life insurance.
Yes.
But I think we want to shift gear. I talked a little bit about, let's say, if you're this notion of not being insurable anymore, or sometimes people say it's cost prohibitive, right? Or you're at an age where it would just cost you too much, right? So if you're like 65, 70, it's harder to do that, right? So again, why for younger people, we do want you to help plan some of these long-term care costs, because again, the cost is very prohibitive. Even I can barely pay now if I need to go to a long-term care facility, right? And so how do we plan for that now when we're young and leverage that, okay? But the other solution we talked about, let's say if you, or meet all those things and it's just too costly or just not in a financial place, there's another solution out there that isn't known as much, called a funeral expense, right? So it's a final expense insurance. So it's actually a whole life policy. So it's a whole life design as far as a life insurance plan is concerned, but it's very low cost, and you can actually really get it just for burial services. And most of those plans come with full concierge death benefit, full concierge services, meaning that once you have a solution in place, they will work with you. They'll have concierge will help you figure out where you want to go. They'll do all the negotiation with the funeral homes for you, help you set up all the different whatever you need. So full concierge service around end of funeral planning.
And that is amazing,
helpful, right?
Because now I have had to bury somebody,
right?
and
then
people,
you have to do all the admin stuff.
Yes, you have to do
negotiate costs. Imagine if someone could do that for you.
Yes.
So most of these policies, and the one one that we partner with on a lot of our life insurance policies, we would add something like that, or you can get it separate. Okay. So these are usually lower. They tend to be no more than 50,000, because most funerals, depending on what state you live in, I would say it average is about 10,000. Okay, on average, right? Cremation tends to be a little less depending on what you want to do, but even visitations and unfortunately, I've had a lot of people in my circles pass away, and a lot of people who've had to take on the role of planning a funeral. And she once told me she had to rent for a visitation a casket for $1,200.
You might as well buy
to rent.
And for real, I'm just the FYI,
though,
just
right?
in case people don't know, and I'm not being funny,
real.
but Walmart sell caskets. Okay,
Are you serious?
Online, yes. People think I be lying, and then they Google it, and I'll be like,
$1,200.
They have some like $900, and they nice caskets. So I mean, if you want to go and buy your casket and save your family some money, I'm just saying,
right? So I mean, like, there again, cost, right? So again, whatever number makes sense, but these tend to be really low cost. But it is, you do pay your whole life, right? So if you're later, and I like to think about this, if your finances is very little, right? You don't have a lot, but you know that you're near, you're getting older. It's a very affordable expense, right? So maybe $40, $50 to get $10,000, depending on your age, right? If we're younger, you and I, it's not quite suitable. But if we need an extra, actually, as I get older, I'm gonna buy one, because it's like $40 for me to get $20,000 from my family. Why not? Right? Why not? And most of these actually work a little different than life insurance, because they will give you that money within 48 hours.
Oh,
that's the other learning is most people, like, life insurance actually takes a while. You have death certificate, a lot of things. So some of your life insurance proceeds won't show up for another month or two. But these companies, then when you think about final expense, they give it right away, because you need to do all the funeral stuff, right? Because what people do now, when they don't have those means to put $10,000 to a wedding, is they probably charge it on a credit card.
Yeah.
Right?
Most definitely.
And so we don't want you to necessarily do that, right? But if you have a life insurance, then it's fine. You'll pay it off right away when you get but most people don't still, because it's still, So then, so you can leverage right away. They'll send you that money right away. And so again, a very low cost and a simple way to just get burial, money set aside for your family. And then we always say, it's what, when I taught the 4-layer foundation, we talked about protection, debt management, emergency fund, and then investment, right? So emergency, when someone passes away, it's an emergency.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so an expense solution like this, I love, because we say, again, when people's finances aren't there, how about if I help you create an immediate emergency fund? right? In exchange for $40, $30, $20, whatever it is that you purchase, you can get, right? For $40, you can get $20,000 within 48 hours of someone's passing. Is that not an immediate emergency fund?
That is
And
most
so we always talk about, if you got no emergency fund, you definitely need this for sure,
Yes.
right? Especially if you're older in age, for sure, right? And
We
so
did one of
super
these for my
affordable.
mom, so
Yeah.
I definitely because when we got ready to try and put insurance on her, my sister had a policy for her for years, and something happened where it lapsed, and they wouldn't let us get it back. So
Yeah.
we had to do this solution for my mom, and the company that I went under, unfortunately, I didn't do my research on, and we had a very unfortunate event where they just canceled my mom's policy out of nowhere.
Oof.
Like, and I had the receipts showing these people I had been paying
all these years.
And the lady was like, "Oh, well, we would need to do another health thing for her." And I was just like, I thought this was supposed to be in the life thing. So, long story short, I had a bad experience with that. So when I met Lynn, and I was just like, "Oh, this is legit a thing. You just have to make sure that you're doing your research on these companies."
Correct. Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to add to what you were already saying is, if you are someone that's in a bind financially, what I would suggest, if you are somebody that maybe get maybe $2,000 a year back in taxes, or you are going to get some type of lump sum of money, pay that up for the whole year. Like, try to pay that up so that it's a bill that you're not concerned about,
Yeah.
and it's already covered. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you pass away, the money that you already paid into it is just going to go towards the whatever you're paying anyway. Correct. So it's not a loss of money. So I just feel like that's one of the things that I used to do when I was on a fixed income, what I call fixed, because my job didn't make a lot of money. Correct. And I was taking care of two children, and I would literally, whatever I could cover with my income tax money, I covered it. And insurance was one of those things. I paid my car insurance and my life insurance policies up for the whole year, because I knew those were things that collapse easily. And I know that I don't need to be older trying to get another policy. Correct. Like, no.
Yeah. And so many people, we put the protective cost aside, and we're like, oh, it's not an essential, but it actually is the most essential. The protective. Essential. Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's all the same reasons why you would never buy a car without a brand new car, without insurance, right? Same thing, right? Because it takes a huge significant toll on your family if you're not prepared for these emergencies, for sure.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah. So small numbers in exchange for big numbers. That's why I like to leverage insurance as a tool.
And one of the mentors that I follow, well, I call him my mentor because I've been following him for a long time. He don't know he mentored me. But he always says, know the cost of money. And what he means by that is, if you understand money and how sometimes you may have to make a small investment in something in order to get a bigger investment later, right? So like you're saying, give me this $40, and if something happened to you, I promise you, I'm gonna show up with this $20,000 check for your family. Yeah. That's an understanding the cost of money. Correct. Because at the end of the day, if you die in 5 days, 20 days, 200 days, 200 years, whatever, this money is set aside for you and your family to make sure that you're covered. Your family's covered. Yeah. Nobody's stressed out about money or how we're going to make sure your final expenses are respected.
Yeah, I mean, people, and the other thing I like to talk about sometimes is this notion of exchange principle that sits in insurance that we underestimate, right? Because where else would you put in $40 and get $20,000?
Exactly.
Where else would you invest in a universal index life insurance, put in $200 and get $500,000? Even as you're building your investment, right? Even an IRA, will you get the same, right? A Roth IRA, let's say you put it now, right? How long would it take you to build 500,000 assets for your family?
Exactly.
Right. But
some people
life
will
insurance
never reach it.
Is truly designed to be an immediate estate. And so we have to understand what that role means and what does that actually mean.
Please repeat that. Right? Repeat that.
Life insurance is an immediate state creation, right? So you get a $500,000 policy. You immediately, upon your passing, is a $500 estate. $500,000.
And just to FYI, guys,
right? And it didn't cost you $500,000.
This is how wealth is built inside of families. Yeah. This is how generational wealth is built in families. For those that did not know that, did not understand that, this is how the rich gets richer. I never understood what
trust baby meant, and now I do.
That's a trust baby. Okay. Yeah, and I want my children to be trust babies. And before we get off this live tonight, I want y'all to understand that even with that money, y'all need to have that money put into estate planning
Yeah, and then
vehicles so that your children are not fumbling the bag when they
yes,
get
because we've heard that too. Most life insurance proceeds are gone within 6 months if it is in structure, and that's why the other pieces of protection is estate planning and will and trust, and we do free consults for that. Just got off one with our attorney network, who helped me run a consult on a business planning as well. But yes, estate planning is the other piece of protection as well when you're thinking about if you have big money like that. Yeah, especially if you have minor children, you need to prepare for what
and
that looks like.
and
So
honestly,
planning will
not
as well.
only if you just have minor children, but you have children that are not educated in finances,
Oh yes,
because that's the mismanagement of the money
yes,
for the grown ones. Because mama
correct.
died and y'all was poor your whole life,
Yeah,
and now you want to go buy the Benz that you ain't
Yep.
never have, but you don't realize that own that Benz is not just what you
Correct.
pay for it. That's a $600 oil change.
correct. Yeah.
Those are $3,000 tires. That, you feel me?
Yeah,
So
so the estate planning process will allow you as the adult, while you're good and healthy, decide what you want to do with those assets, right?
yes.
And so you could say, I know on mine, I was joking, I was like, we put some parameters around it, right? Like if they are, I don't know, going through some major drug addiction, like I don't want to spend all the $100,000 that it took me so much to put in for them, right? Like, so you can actually customize some of that, and that's really important because different people have different needs
Yes.
around that, right?
And can that money also be put in separate vehicles that continues to make it grow for
I
the
think you
children?
can control all of that asset in an estate plan. You control exactly, so they're customizable plans. Attorneys will get all those things in place for you, so you actually decide where your assets are allocated and how they're allocated.
I be knowing the answers to these
I
questions.
know. Yeah.
I just be wanting you to jog your mind for people,
Yes,
because I know
we don't
they
know.
don't.
Yeah,
So
we don't know. I knew nothing about estate planning and that kind of stuff. That's actually why I started on this journey around finances, because I felt a little very undereducated as a 38-year-old mom with two kids going, oh my God, what happens?
like, what if something happens to you?
How are my kids going to take care of? So had those tough conversations. Who's going to be my guardian, right, for my children if that something happens while they're minor? Yeah, they're tough decisions, but we have to make them.
And
if we don't make them, someone else will make them.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, I tell people all the time, if anything happened to me and my husband, my sister getting all my kids. Okay, she knows it, and the money will be going to them to be cared for properly. In any case,
yes,
and
right.
not only take care of my kids, that my sister is taken care of as well for being their caretaker. Because that matters too.
I know you think, right? You can't just send them guardianship, send them with no money.
Yeah, and be like, yeah, you gonna take care of them till they 18, and then you'll be good. Like, no, you gonna be good while you taking care of my babies, okay? Yeah. But we pray those things never happen, but we live in a world where things are happening every single day. Yeah. We could be gone just like that, y'all. So it's time. We're getting older. We cannot keep playing in these streets thinking that, y'all know I get slang. It ain't always about business over here. So, we be in these streets out here acting like we got it all figured out, and then something happened, and then our kids are not properly cared for. Our spouses are not properly cared for. They're going to lose the house that y'all work so hard for. You're going to lose every car, every asset. Why do that when we could plan to protect those things? Very simple. And cheaply plan to do those things as we're still in a young age. So we have to start opening our mindsets up to these different things. And you can no longer say, because guess what? If you follow me, you have no excuse. None. And I hold people accountable. That's why I'm like, listen, I'm not going to just talk to you about being wrong about what you do. I'm going to give you the resource to change the mindset. I'm going to give you the person that's going to help you do that. Now, Lynn is here. Lynn has a whole network of people that she works with. So if she's not available, her people are available. They will talk to you. You can join classes to learn more about these things. But this is the seed, guys. Allow the seed to be planted, flourishing, and new. Okay, let it come on. We need the seed to blossom. Okay, so it becomes that. Right? So listen, okay, I cannot stress this enough, guys, how important it is to be financially prepared for the future. We don't know what this next season is about to bring for us. So we need to start mentally thinking about how we are going to protect ourselves and our families in a time of crisis and need. We are getting older, and the likelihood of us being in a nursing home, in a car accident, in a disability situation is gaining control, guys. It's gaining momentum on us. So at some point, we have to stop and realize how important it is to be protected. Okay. And one of the things that I used to get told all the time by my original life insurance guy, he used to say, you protect your house, you protect your car, you protect your kids. I mean, not your kids. You protect everything you put insurance on your phone. He said, and there is no guarantee that any of those things are going to happen. But I promise you, we all gonna die. Okay. That is a guarantee. 1000%. We leaving here. Okay. So let us not leave here and leave a burden on our families. Let us not leave here and not leave a legacy for the people we say we love, guys. And not only that, just as we discussed tonight, not only that, be prepared for if something happens to you in a long-term sense, a short-term sense. Like, get with Lynn so she could teach you guys more about these riders and how to include them in the policies that she can get for you guys. Okay. So with that being said, y'all know, as always, Lynn's information is here on the screen. You can also use your phone to scan the barcode in the corner. Her information will come directly to your phone. Her calendar will come directly to your phone, and she will book an appointment with you guys. Any help you need, guys, Lynn is here for you guys. Absolutely free, guys. Okay. I'm not going to keep stressing that enough because I know some people be like, oh, they always trying to get somebody money. We don't want your money. Okay. We want you to just invest in your family. That is it. That is it. Okay. So, Lynn, tell us about some of the things that you have coming up before we get off of here.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we're rounding out October. We have a lot of different, so it's October is financial planning month. So we actually offer a couple workshops. As we move into November, it's actually long-term care planning month, right? So we won't be live anymore. Well, we have one more session.
Yes,
so we'll close out the month with, I don't know yet, we'll figure out something fun to do for our last session. However, the purpose of this is to kind of raise more visibility. So any of our workshops are always free and available. And again, I would just be honored to have a conversation on how I can help you. But long-term care awareness, we'll be planning a bunch of different workshops locally in the center as well as on Zoom. And then for November, I actually have a couple of different partnerships. So as I think about the division, the center, I want to create more room to help more people get educated, learn about our campaign. And so we're doing a couple of different partnerships. But one particular that I love because we're on health and wealth conversation is Friday, November 10th. We're doing a fitness and finance session with my personal trainer. She's going to do a 20-minute stretching sequence with us, right? And we'll talk a bit about the parallels of actually being financially fit and physically fit, right? What are the same? They're actually requiring very similar mentalities. Yes. So we'll be kind of a fun hour session together, and she'll be leading us through a fun stretching because we want to have you maintain your health, right, as you grow your wealth, right?
Your health
if
is
you ain't
your
got
wealth.
no health, your health is your wealth. So
Period.
we have to work together. So I love her mission and want to elevate her business as well, but really talk about a very crucial intersection of health and wealth together. So that one for sure. So if you're here in Ipsy, please show up for that. So we'll have things posted on my website, on our Facebook for that.
Also post it on my page.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah. And then all the workshops for long-term care planning, all of that. So we'll definitely get it posted in November.
And if y'all are not following Lynn, she's also on Facebook. Her name is right there, guys. She's my friend.
Yes.
So if you want to go to my friends, so you can go find Lynn. Okay.
I'm probably the only Lynn on that one.
That's the only Lynn I have. Okay. So she's there for you guys. Okay.
Yeah. And then Ipsy Financial Education Center is the name of our Facebook group. So you can join that as well. Maybe I should post that. We just started the page. So it's only about like 160 followers.
Well, that's fine. We're going to get some more followers.
Yeah. My goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. I think I can do it. My friend network.
We're definitely gonna get.
Yeah, my friend network is already that much. Period. So I just gotta get. So I gotta get on it.
Just let us know that you have your page open so we can start sharing it. Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys. So if you did not take anything away from this, please take this away. There are options for you while you're still alive to tap into your benefits. Okay. We just have to discuss what those options are and if they are a good fit for you. And in order for you to do that, you need to book a consultation. The consultation is absolutely free. I'm going to say that again because I know people don't like paying for stuff. Absolutely free. Okay. So if you got your phone out right now, scan the barcode in the corner, book your appointment. If you don't have your phone out and you just want to follow Lynn, her information is on the screen. Okay, guys? This recording will be up for 24 hours. Feel free to share it and let people know that we were talking about different options for your life insurance. Okay. It's been real, guys. Lynn, we have one more week with Lynn.
I know.
We might have her on as a surprise guest, but y'all know December is coming up and we will be doing the 30 days of financial biblical principles. So that is something for you guys to look forward to from me. And I'm going to have workbooks for you guys, and we're going to do journaling exercises, and we're meeting every single day. So
that's awesome.
This is a commitment. So if you guys are going to be rocking with me in December to do this biblical financial principles, okay? So we're going to be learning about hey, Miss Pat.
Hi,
we're going to be learning about the biblical principles that Jesus set for us, God has set for us, not what this greedy world has for us. Because what the world did was took those principles and made the greed out of it, not necessarily keeping God as a part of it. So we're going to talk about how he created everything for us, and we're going to be talking about how we are to be stewards of this money. And this right here is one of the ways we're supposed to be good stewards of our money. Okay, guys? So like I said, we're about to log off, and we have been on here for more than our 30 minutes today, but it's okay. But this recording will be up for the next 24 hours, guys. And due to restrictions on her end, so just know this information cannot stay up for long, and the classes are free. So all of these things that she's teaching us from her book here is
the book is free too.
The book is actually free. Yes.
So, and if you live far away, and genuinely my mission is to educate. So if you need a book and want to learn more finances, we make it very accessible. So hit me up and we'll send you a book, and then we'll have a conversation.
Saving Your Future. We're going to talk about finances 101. And that's what this book is built on, and how to build your financial personal wealth the right way, right? Correct. Starting with the building blocks put in the right place. So that is what Ms. Lynn does for us. Again, it's absolutely free for you guys to get a free consultation with her. Sit down, talk about your finances. She will tell you places to put your money that makes sense, right? And help you grow. Because I know y'all tired of going to work every day and not seeing that money. You want to be able to see the money that you're making, because it's not about what you make. It's about what you keep. And I keep trying to tell y'all that. So Lynn is here to help y'all learn how to keep your money.
That's right.
All right. So hit her up. Barcode in the corner. Lynn is right here on the screen. And like she said, next month she'll be talking about
long-term care.
Long-term care. So Ms. Lynn has a busy month next month. So we won't be going live on Mondays. But I will be trying to steal some of her time throughout the week. Okay. So I might be able to Fiona. I might be able to steal some of her time and come live with her.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a lot of interest, I'm happy to teach a long-term care session for us, because there's a lot of details that we can't go over. But we need to prepare for people.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So don't miss out, y'all. Yeah. This is a great resource. Lynn is a great person to be in contact with, because since I met her, all she's done is try to help me excel at everything I do. And that's every person that I've seen her come in contact with. That is what she has literally been doing. So guys, don't sleep on this resource. Okay. I love you guys. It has been real. We will see you guys next Monday for our final session on financial literacy. All right.
All right. Bye.